Good morning, America. Thanks for joining us here on the Andy Kirkendall Show, where Andy interviews actors, writers, filmmakers, athletes, musicians, songwriters, and more, and asks them, what do you do and why do you do it? So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Moments. Today I have two returning guests, Buddy Campbell, actor, and he was just on. As a matter of fact, he's on this week's lineup as well, and author Cae Cordell. Welcome to Morning Moments.
Thank you, Andy, for having both of us.
Appreciate it being on.
You're welcome. Well, I've had you on separately, both of you. Actually, Buddy, this is Buddy's third time on Morning Moments. And now I have you together so explain why you're together for this project and what are you doing now and why are you doing it?
Well, I've been, acting for a while, and but Kay has been an author for a long time, mostly writing about her life experiences. And we had a mutual friend. She reached out to someone who was a lawyer friend of hers, is someone that I went to high school with. And so she asked him if he knew anybody in the acting business because she wanted her book to be made into a movie. And her book was Redbird Phoenix. And so she contacted me through our mutual friend, and he got us connected, and we just hit it off right away, and heard her story. Just had to I said, this has to be made. And so ever since then we've been on a quest to get Redbird Phoenix made into a movie.
Right.
I turned the book Redbird Phoenix into a script, and we have several directors, producers who would have committed to work on it if we could come up with the funding, Andy. So that's why we're working together, trying to get notice for an investor or investors to believe in my story and want to make it. As you well know, my story is about surviving incest and domestic violence and sexual abuse. And I decided to turn the script into a movie for the fact that there's a lack of leadership for victims who have been sexually abused to becoming survivors. And I felt like, the Lord gave me the will to survive. And if I share that lordship of Jesus with other people through the means of my script, it can be a voice that's not been heard. Matriarchal rape has not been examined in this country. And so that's what I lived and endured, plus abuse by many others. But I feel like by doing this script, I can bring freedom to voices out there who've been silenced by society, the church, law enforcement, even the court system, Andy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, being a retired psychiatric nurse, I've seen so many lives devastated, injured through that abuse, and it's often, let's not talk about it, and it's not shared, and that's why a lot of times it continues, because that darkness has not been brought to light.
And it's timely right now, because if you look, the number one movie in the country right now is about trafficking, that Jim Caviezel's in. And this could be a movie on that level, I believe.
Yeah, and when the minds come together and the story comes together, the testimony comes out. It's the story giver, the storyteller, and the story giver coming together. That's exciting, because everybody has a story to tell, and we all have something nobody else has, is our testimony. It's great to be able to share that and talk about the process of doing that movie.
Yes, it is. And so long, victims have hid in the shadows and had no place to heal. And I feel like by me stepping forward and telling my story and my journey, and in the script, I look at the years that I've done counseling, been a minister, and consulting with victims. And the script is written through that part of me as a counselor, sharing my story. And it is a wonderful story, well written. And I believe it's time, if I step forward, maybe others will step forward. And I just want to build a safe place in society for victims to be able not to be ashamed and to be able to speak out.
How do we establish that safe place for people?
By having advocacy centers, by having justice in the court system for law enforcement training. Judges need to be trained to hear these type cases. We need better laws. As you well know, my goal is to see a constitutional amendment for domestic violence and abuse survivors. And it'll take a lot of education. It'll take someone who's got courage to step forward and invest in this movie. And I feel like the return for such a movie will be 100-fold to whoever is has the money to step forward. And we've got several good directors, producers lined up. We've got actors who would volunteer to act, and it's just something that I feel like God's called me to do, Andy. And when the Lord has lordship in your life, you try to obey the Holy Spirit nudging you. And I'm not afraid to speak out, and I'll work any way that I can to facilitate in helping get the movie made.
We're just looking for a production company that has the funding in place right now that wants to take this movie on and make it. If it gets to the point where we're reaching out to for people to donate individually, we will set something up, but we're not at that point right now. We're just looking for a big time production company or an individual or who wants to fund this, because we want to make it right. We don't want it to make it look like something that was made with a cell phone. God bless small independent films, but this movie, to have the impact that we think it can, to be in theaters, it has to be done with a bigger budget, a well-funded budget, to get a top cinematographer, to get a top producer and director that knows with the proper equipment to make this look like a quality type film, in order for people to pay to come see it. But we would like to have a theatrical release or a one of the major streaming platforms, maybe whatever we can do with a investor whenever they come along, that they decide how to distribute it.
Andy, I believe God's got the right people out there that would be interested in this. Women in the Me Too movement, they spoke out, and many of them are directors, producers, actresses. And I'm hoping that some of them can step forward and say, look, we'll join with you in developing this film and making it into a quality movie that'll reach around the world for the Lord.
So if a producer is watching this, or a streaming, or whoever is watching this, who could they reach out to? How can they get a hold of you to talk further about the logistics of this?
My website is www.caecordell.com. My email is cae234@msn.com. They can reach out to me. Buddy's on Facebook, Buddy Campbell, and Cae Cordell, I'm on Facebook. And my information's on my website. My phone number, everything is on the website, and I'll be happy to talk with anyone. And I'll give the names of the producers and the directors that have already committed to us, if we can find the funding, that they are willing to work. They are really good, well known in the industry, and I'll help any way I can. So will Buddy. One thing that Buddy does is he is so kind. He takes me to places I need to go after dark.
Yeah, some people don't like to drive after dark, and I'm not there yet, so I'm still willing to drive after dark.
He's a wonderful chauffeur.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew I was going to be useful to her for something, and that's been chauffeur is it, you know, and concierge and carrying her bags and just whatever she needs done.
It's instead of driving Miss Daisy, it's driving Miss Kay, right?
Hey, that's right.
Absolutely, yes.
I keep asking for one of those little black doohickey hats, but I haven't got one yet.
I know what to get him for Christmas.
That's right. That's right. So you've been seeing those websites down below, and please go and check out the interviews I've done with Buddy and Kay in the past. That explains a little bit more in depth about what that book is and about what Buddy's his purpose and his goal, his future and his hope is. So please research that. Look at that. Some of you are watching this and go, why did this come my way? Why did I see it? And you've got this stirring that's in your heart. I want you to pray. I mean, if God's tugging on your heart, there may be a reason that you're seeing this right now. I want you to take some time and pray about your involvement. Pray, if you're not to be involved, at least pray that God would continue to be with Buddy and Kay as they pursue what they feel God's called them to do in getting this story and message out. And maybe they just need a word of encouragement too. So look there, and maybe you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that'll be just that connecting. I know Buddy is a good connector as well, and maybe that somebody in his circle, somebody in Kay's circle, somebody that just heard this interview says, I need to reach out. There's a reason. Maybe you need to pass this message on to somebody that God's spoken to your heart to pass this interview on. You can be an instrument to what God has for this project. Thank you so much for sharing. Any closing thoughts as we look to wrap this up?
Never give up and never give in. If you've been victimized, there is an answer for your health and happiness.
Absolutely. Great words. Great words. All right. Thank you so much. Keep coming back, and may God richly bless you.
Thank you, Andy.